Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've been cooking up some changes in Koonarta's culture, geography, history, and more. So why don't I give you an update on everything that's been changed and added in my development of Koonarta. The first thing I did was expand the religion of the Caxolians. I previously had it just be centered on the worship of their god Koonarta, and had a connection to the moon and its phases, without much else. I began creating a list of the sacred animals in the Caxolian religion, which from now I'll call Koonartism. Cows, cats, dogs, and frogs were the first ones I had, and since I had these before, I just expanded upon them. Cows have connections to the moon, with their horns, and have a cow festival. There's a procession at moonrise, which turns into a 6-hour-long party. When the moon peaks, the cows are milked for offerings to Koonarta. Cows are our guardians of the afterlife, and dogs are guides for pilgrims and people in the afterlife. Then, I added dugongs, whale sharks, bats, giant tortoises, sea turtles, butterflies, apiary birds, and rays. Then I connected them to the moon or Koonarta, and may add more soon. I then developed the Kinuhaimun Koonarta, which is their holy book. I already had a skeleton, but I decided to add more and be more in depth with the things I had, without fully writing anything yet. I had the creation, Koonarta's birth, in the Shintanwakilah Paidam, creating the first light, then creating the world, but I added on, after he created the world, he created humans, and then the sacred animals with their individual myths that I'll have to reveal in another video. After the creation, I haven't expanded much from the layout, but it has the arrival of the Koonarta Nubians and then the Dummers. The next thing I expanded upon is the first people of Koonarta. I previously called them the Koonartans and had a colonial name for nationals of Koonarta, Koralians, which doesn't make much sense. Now, anyone with citizenship in Koonarta is Koonartan, but what did I choose for the name of the first people? Koonartango, which means Koonart people. Hango is a mix of Proto-Malayo-Polynesian and Noongar. The Proto-Malagash words I'm using are often changing from Proto-Malayo-Polynesian, actual Malagash, and the Maanyan language, which is the closest relative to Malagash, spoken in Borneo. The Koonartango people have 4 distinct groups: the Savannah people, the Mangrove people, the Mountain people, and the Desert people. I also renamed some of the Koonartango cities. Durham, in Yerevattra, is now called Yerevattrup, and the previously unnamed or forgotten city in Wardamasina is called Wardamasinaap. Hey wait, they both have the county name and then up at the end. That's because many Noongar towns and cities also have up in their names. That's because it means place of in Noongar. I changed the name of the capital of Koonarta from New Oxford to Bangor Dakpujup. Like Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia becoming KL, Bangor Dakpujup in Koonarta is commonly called BD. Bangor Dakpujup would translate as the new place of togetherness, a name used to inspire unity among the regions after independence. The city was still New Oxford until independence. Oh yeah, the independence changed too. I originally had it where the British just gave them independence in 1901, but that doesn't really make sense following trends. Instead, the 4 British colonies of British Caxolia, British Mentawai, British Baton Koonartango, and British Savange did not like the British due to their oppression of their peoples, destruction of the environment, and people over British profit. Heonistan Hatopshen went to the Mentawai Islands, and Ibadnakek, a local representative, began talking to him. Hatopshen and Ibadnakek agreed on people's shared dislike towards the British. They both decided to go to the other colonies and ask what they think. The representatives Mayanup of Baton Koonartango and Antonio Pelafigo of Savange also agreed with Hatopshen and Ibadnakek. All 4 of them decided that they should work together to kick out the British with the people's support. They continued to have meetings in New Oxford and joined the resistance movement. Hatopshen, Ibadnakek, Mayanup, and Antonio Pelafigo became known to the people as the resistance leaders. In 1916, the British forced their colonial subjects to fight in the Great War. The people, of course, did not want to fight for the British, so that while they were busy fighting in Europe and the Middle East, the resistance started their fight. The ports of Port Wellington, Antioch, Durham, and Isatow saw protesters and strikers take over to stop British trade. The British began running out of supplies and people to stop the strikes because they were stretched thin from the war. The leaders of each colony decided to leave because of, again, lack of supplies and people to stop the strikers. Eventually, all of the British leaders in the colonies left without letting the leaders in London know. This gave an open spot for the resistance leaders to temporarily rule as a tetrarchy. They wrote the constitution of the Democratic Plurinational Federation of Koonarta and Caxoli and Mentawai Islands with high emphasis on unity, peace, and democracy. They chose Makuran Chambaidu as the first Prime Minister of Koonarta. Okay, wow, this is a super long video, so if you made it to the end, I thank you all, and consider subscribing for more updates and upcoming videos.